Hey, 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 live from Denver. It's Friday night. Welcome to Critical Conversations, and let's just make sure that all is well in the universe of universes. It looks like this turned off behind us for some bizarre reason, but otherwise all appears to be well. We are very happy to be joined by you all tonight, and by my beautiful wife, Melissa.
Hello.
Yes. This is odd. This is still not turning on. What is going on here?
Hello.
I demand.
Hello.
I demand satisfaction.
Something's
there we go,
happening.
Mr. TV. It'll
There
blink
we
and blink.
go.
There we go. Okay, good.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. There we go. Always something with live. I want to. I see all the usual critics in the comment section here. Welcome everybody. Very happy you're joining us for this Friday, September 29th. Dare I say it? In the year of our Lord, 2023. Thank you for those gifted memberships. That is
thanks,
awesome,
Laura.
Laura. You are so cool. You guys are so supportive.
Yeah.
And it's really awesome. And in fact, you're going to see something on this Ideal Studio thing. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget this. This is happening. People are responding to this. And I want to thank those of you out there who have. I'm not going to name names because I don't know if anybody wants their name named yet. So I'm just going to say, you know who you are. And we really thank you for your assistance and support so far with this. You're going to see some things soon happening here. I need to kind of get some time and put some things together, but you'll see some things. So anyway, we're looking forward to that. Let's go ahead and do your quote. Let's go ahead and start with that.
I've had a particularly irritating day. So anyway, this is a quote about surveillance in our modern world. Our movements and feelings are constantly monitored because surveillance is the business model of the digital age.
Oh, damn. Where's that from?
Catherine Viner. She is a reporter. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we, do you want to talk about it at all?
I don't know what I should say. I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble with my company because I do need a job, but my job sucks and they're extra spying on us now.
Yeah, as some of you may know, and we can speak about this in general terms without having to name companies or anything because it's happening in a number of places, that remote workers are obviously a controversy still. At least that's what I see on my news feed constantly. Inc. and Fortune magazine articles constantly going on about, is it good? Is it bad? This CEO says this about it. This other corporate business leader says this about it. Here's... what's that? Warren Buffett has this to say about it. You know, Elon Musk has this to say about it, and all this crap, right? And at the end of the day, some people are working from home and some people are going into the office, and the people who are working from home are starting to be monitored in an Orwellian fashion with keystroke monitors and timers and mouse clicking trackers and things that they control because of course they're giving you the hardware to do your work from home. You're not doing it on your own computers or your own thing, and so they can do whatever they want to with that, and including putting surveillance and spy software on there to watch you through your webcam, monitor your keystrokes, etc. And this is the kind of stuff I just need to say out loud because it's for my own peace of mind and my own sort of like angst on this, watching this happen to her now and having read about it for months now, right? Of course, it comes home to you and then it means so much more. That there's no difference between what that is and the world I lived in as a Sea Org member. I'd be amazed if the Sea Org wasn't using that same tech.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right?
Make sure you're not going on the wrong websites.
Exactly. And, of course, even just monitoring people on their machines, right? We used to sit in the basement all day typing telexes.
And thank you, Big Daddy. It looks like you became a member, too.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Awesome. Very nice. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Corporate America is looking more and more and more like, and this is not a small step, which is why I'm a little alarmed by it and the reality of it.
I don't think our company's doing it, but there's companies that will make you keep your camera on all day long so they can watch you at your desk, even though you're in your own friggin' house. I don't know the exact articles, Xion, but if you Google it, you'll find a billion of them. So,
Angel Hugger, I'm not sure what's happening on your end. The stream has been operating normally for us this time here as we're watching and experiencing it. So I'm not sure what the issue is. If there was something to change or do, I would do that. I'm not sure what's happening. Mm-hmm. If anything else comes up or becomes clear about that, we can debug that. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Leslie, it is Big Brother-ish. It very much. I mean, literally standing over your shoulder watching, right? Big Brother is watching you. Remember, that's where we get that from. And that's supposed to be a comforting mantra in 1984, right? You got somebody looking over you. So, yeah.
And it's like, look, I get you don't want us dicking around all day long, but at the same time, we're human beings and we deserve, some kind of basic trust and not to be treated like toddlers.
Basically, yeah. And that's where it becomes a bit offensive and annoying and even intrusive when you're being literally watched through a camera all day long and you never know whether somebody's there or not and that whole thing. So, yeah, not so great. Now, if you ever have any other venting you want to do about that, you just go right ahead.
Oh, I could vent for hours. But anyway.
Yeah. Okay. It does lend itself to some comparisons with the stuff we talk about all the time in terms of authoritarian control and surveillance frameworks and snitch cultures and things like that, right? This is one of those steps on the road to that. And this is one of those steps where everybody justifies it at the time. Well, it's necessary. Well, employees do slack off. Well, don't you understand? Right?
As if the CEO doesn't slack off. Come on.
Yeah,
but, us little peons aren't allowed to slack off. But if you're making more than $1 million an hour, feel free to slack off.
Wow. I'm not sure. The only other thing I can say in terms of the streaming issues is I know there are changes going on in YouTube. Yeah, here's somebody commenting also about that. Delete buffering and rebooted, deleted your cache. There could be some YouTube issues. I know they're doing a big change up right now on their advertising where they're going to be, I was going to mention this, they're going to be putting ads into the middle of live streams. And I don't really have any choice or control over that. If I want to monetize my videos, that's how it's going to be kind of thing. It's not quite that black and white yet, but it's easy enough. It's like choose where you're going to put your ads or we're going to choose for you is sort of how it is now on YouTube with ads. And I get it. That's how I produce income for me and for my family and stuff. So I need ads. But I would prefer to have more power of choice as a content creator as to where I put those ads and whether they should be there at all or not. And YouTube is now reframing it as though they're doing us a great big service by forcing us to have ads in the middle of our videos. I usually classically until a couple months ago had it set only on ads at the beginning and the end because I didn't want to bust up my content.
Well, it would be nice, if you could choose where the ads go, and it would be nice if you could choose which ads. Like, because sometimes you see stuff where you're like, that's not something I want to support.
No, exactly. So, yeah, Big Daddy, I think that's exactly right. I think YouTube could use a good session or two. Wow. Okay, guys. Yeah, sorry, Angel Hugger. Catch us on the replay. I'm so sad about that. Thank you. No, totally understood. If it's just not coming through for you, then that sucks, and thanks, Alex, on that comment on there.
And speaking of ads, I think Prime is getting ads soon too.
Oh yeah, no, all the streaming services, they're all walking back on their original promises.
It's so gross.
Yeah, it's 20 years ago we were promised ads and everything would be free. Everything would be free, and we just had to watch some ads. And then the streaming services came and said, well, you can pay us to stream and there will be no ads ever because you're paying us already. So we don't have to put ads up. And of course, then they all decided to become their own independent production companies, which is a tremendously more expensive venture than just streaming videos. And so now we're back to the same place we were before, except we're having to pay for the TV service and then pay to not have ads. It's just nonsense. Yeah, it's so weird, Angel Hugger. I am so sorry about that. Okay. So I have something to talk about in terms of recovery, and then we are going to get into our call, which is waiting on the line now. So I have a couple of things I need to say, though, because this was, I don't want to be L. Ron Hubbard. And just because I have an epiphany or realization or see something differently, I'm suddenly communicating as though it's this. This is what L. Ron Hubbard would do. And communicate it as though it's this worldwide phenomenon. Everybody now needs to comply with or do, or everybody fits this same thing that I'm saying because it happened to me. That would be bad. That would be projection, and that would be not good psychology or not good advice for you folks, right? So I'm not going to tell you that what I'm about to say is applicable for every single person, because I don't know that it is. But I know it sure as hell hit me between the eyes, and I thought it might help in discussing what we talk about here all the time. Cult recovery is a very, very important topic. It's the same kind of recovery, but it's slightly different than domestic violence recovery or trafficking recovery, because in a cult, you fell into a belief set that you were enthusiastically supporting and part of. And as a result of that, often went so deep that your beliefs pushed you, and your changed morality, the rewriting of your own good and bad, right and wrong, changes to such a degree in those situations that you become a different person. And we've talked about, and there's all kinds of literature out there about pseudo identity and the cult identity, and people who are familiar with the BITE model know a little bit about this. And there is a lot more to know about it. Identity theory and psychology is intensely interesting, but also a little complicated. And there's a lot of different papers and views on it. But what I want to say about this for me is that it was, I've thought before and talked about, well, when do you know you're done? When do you say I've capped it and I'm recovered? Right? And a lot of people will be like, well, you're never recovered. Well, I don't think that's actually true. I think there has to be a point where you go, you know what? I'm over it. Because if you're stuck to it for the rest of your life, that just sucks. That would be awful. And
well, maybe it's not so much that you're stuck to it or that you're still having issues, but there's always going to be like a little bit of it there. You know what I mean? Like, you may not have severe issues. You might be at a point where you accept what happened to you, but like with trauma, there's always going to be like it still changes you in some way.
Absolutely. In no way, shape, or form in trying to imply otherwise.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, I think there's always going to be a little bit of it with you, but you can get to the point where it's not hurting your life. Well,
it's where it's a memory, not a thing that lives with you in the present.
Right.
And for me, that was enough to say recovery. And I think I even announced it one time. It's like, look, I'm past all that. I'm no longer thinking with the language. I'm no longer thinking with the concepts. When Mel gets sick, the first thing I think of is not, she's PTS. Right? Oh, there's some SP. Oh, none of that is in my mind anymore, or I don't think that way or respond to these things that way anymore. But is that enough? Maybe not. This YouTube day is just not good. I've got nothing but straight thing here, and I'm watching the show here, just so y'all know. And we haven't had any buffering, and it's not because I'm, watching my OBS. I'm watching it on YouTube. So if I see an issue here, I will definitely step up and see if there's something I need to do. But I'm just not sure what the problem is with YouTube today on this. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so now here's where I'm going with the recovery thing. Let me finish this up, and then we'll get to this call. See, I kind of thought and talked about that I was done, that it's over because I no longer believe those things anymore. And so I've cleansed myself of those Scientology beliefs and the language. And so maybe the thought patterns aren't the same. And so maybe I'm very different, and I am. And maybe this is all good, right? Oh, Alex and Poe. Awesome. Hey, guys. So let me suggest this. Let me throw this out at you now. Okay, but does that put you in a position where you're not going to fall for it again? Does that put you in a position where you recognize what happened to you? Maybe, and certainly I think to get here, you'd have to have education along the way. I don't see any way you could get to a place where you've shed the whole belief system and see how destructive it is and all the language and everything without getting some knowledge, some education about how this stuff works, even if it's just bite model and easy, simplified kind of breakdowns of it and all that kind of stuff. Better than nothing. Absolutely. But what if you could get to a place where it's not about belief anymore, because I guess what I'm trying to get to, where I went to on this was, release from Scientology. That's right. What I'm trying to get to is, what if you didn't have to, instead of sitting there maundering and wondering and being anxious about and fretting over, well, what should I believe? Well, what should I think? Well, what should I, and looking out to everybody else to tell you or find some external source for you. What if you simply got to a place where belief itself just wasn't that fucking important anymore? Where it was just like, oh, what the problem is going all in on this shit, no matter what the belief is. It's not the belief that you're trying to recover from. It's going all in on a belief that you're trying to recover from. Believe whatever the hell you want, but never go 100%, right? It's like, don't go, dare I say it now? From Tropic Thunder, right?
Full word that people will get mad if you say it.
Yeah, exactly. Full R word, right? It's the depth of belief that caused you to go topsy-turvy, to go upside down, to go into black is white, red is green, right? So if you can get to a place where you're never going to let yourself commit like that again, where you realize that was the problem. Believe something, consider it, think about it, chew it over, maul on it, whatever. Who cares, right? Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Wicca, Buddhism, Hinduism, JWism. Take a look at the beliefs. Do they fit you? Do they not fit you? Who cares, right? It's not a big deal. It's when you start investing yourself in it and where this becomes sacred truth that cannot be questioned or touched. And you realize that recovery is about always asking questions, always being willing to go, you know what? I think something may not be right here, and I'm going to speak up about it because I'm not going to let myself ever again be the cowed guy in the back who just goes along with everything. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean I have to be an asshole or a jerk or even self-assertive or any of that. I don't have to say a word. I just don't have to commit, right? And it's not fear of commitment. It's knowledge of commitment. It's knowing what you're doing. It's knowing where you're at and not letting anything take over your identity again. That, I think, is a big part of recovery. I'll put that there as goalposts, at least for, or another step or whatever. But it just really hit me hard today. I was talking with somebody for a few hours today about ex-cult communities and cult and groups and people and psychology and the behavior of people in groups and how manipulation works and how control works. And it was like, well, the problem is not that people believe things. The problem is that people believe things too hard. They go all in. They give over of themselves fully and completely, and we praise this as a good thing. They are committed. They are disciplined. They're a true believer. Well, the only people who want you that way are cult leaders and politicians and corrupt individuals who want to own you. And you don't get to be owned. Mm-mm. You shouldn't. A recovered you know, a life well lived is a life where nobody owns you.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's physically or psychologically. And I think that is a thing to strive for in talking about what are we trying to do in recovery? Where are we trying to get people to? You know, it's like, yeah, critical thinking is important and psychology is important and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But self-awareness, I guess, is sort of the underlying thing here, right? You learn all this stuff, you do all this stuff, you go through all this stuff so that you can be aware enough of yourself and your situation that you know you can be in control of yourself mentally and psychologically, so nobody else gets to come in and take over for you. You know, I think that would be pretty good. I realized before I launched into this that we did not do Benson Cam, and I am so sorry. It is time for the Snuggles, rather, not Struggles Cam. Sorry about that.
Benson looking very irritated.
Yes, he was a little sleepy here, and this was before his food, and I had the video camera on him, and he just looked so sort of sad there, and I was like, Benson, and he was just so tired and just kind of chilling there on the couch, and I just snuck up on him and put a camera in his face. So it's kind of all my fault.
Gets tired and then recharges, and then gets tired again, and then recharges throughout the day. So.
Yes, and this was one of his tired moments here. He had some dinner after this, and I think got a little more excited. But he's usually pretty chill at night. He's had a long day. Mm-hmm. Anyway, there's our little guy. There's me trying to. Oh, come on now, little guy. There you go. Such a cutie, this guy.
He's just the cutest.
Oh, he is, but he was just a little tired there. Anyway, there's our Benson Cam for the week, guys. Yeah. All right. So I don't have anything more to say about that. Okay. I just wanted to share that with you guys.
Yeah.
What I wrote down on my Post-it note, just to turn this into a witty saying, is recovery is not about what you believe. It's realizing you don't need to believe it all. That's the idea. Yeah. So, all right. So now let's get to our main event. I believe we have Travis on the line here. Hello, you are on.
Howdy, Chris.
Hey, hey.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. Thanks for calling in.
You're welcome. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to have a little bit more time this week and to talk about my trip to the org.
Yes.
So I thought about this for a while, and I decided I'm going to actually tell everybody which org I went to.
Oh, great. Okay, let's do it.
So I went to the Dallas org in that. Okay, so y'all can look up when I describe the inside of this. Everybody watching, you can actually go to their web. I'm not promoting Scientology here, just so you can get a visual of what, because they do have shots of the outside and the inside. So
it is a nice looking building.
Actually, yeah, it is. But here's the thing, and I'm a local. So I've spent most of my life in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. It's not actually in Dallas. It's in Irving.
And where is Irving in relation to Dallas?
Yeah, it's on the so Irving is, so if you have Fort Worth on one side and Dallas on the other, because it's DFW, Irving is on the first is on the western side of Dallas borders, and it's a big town. In terms of square miles and also population, okay? Mm-hmm. And for those of you who don't know, the original Dallas Cowboy Stadium was in Irving, starting from the 60s. That's where Tom Landry was the coach. That's where Troy Aikman played, all those things. And also, the Scientology org is in a specific place in Irving. It's in Las Colinas, which is a very high dollar area of Irving. Okay, a lot of wealthy people stay there.
Okay,
well, I should stay there. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's right across the street from the Las Colinas Country Club. And to give you some idea, there's an area of Las Colinas called Valley Ranch. That's where the Dallas Cowboys, training camp used to be for decades. It moved to Oxnard, California. But Valley Ranch is also way back in the 90s. A lot of the players used to live in Valley Ranch too. I know that. I'm not going to get into it. Yeah, so it's a really high value area in terms of like money. So these people built that place. These Scientologists, I guess, built that place or renovated it, and they put it in a good area because, listen, the people who live in that area generally, they've got the money to spend on things that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Interesting. And how far away from Austin is this place on the ground? Because I know maps and stuff, but I'd never really measured the miles.
So Dallas Fort Worth, the Metroplex, is about 3.5 hours north of Austin. Austin's a capital, and it's in Central Texas. Mm-hmm. Dallas is in North Texas.
Okay.
Irving, Dallas, Irving, all the mid-cities, all this Fort Worth, Duncanville, Denton, it's all way north of, it's in, like, it takes me, like, I live not in Dallas, but I live in that Metroplex, which is a 12-county area. And so it'll take me about an hour to get to Oklahoma.
Okay.
The only reason I know that is they have casinos in there in Oklahoma, and so, yeah.
Okay. Well, I was asking because the area of responsibility for Austin would go halfway up to where, if they met in the middle, that would basically be the border between the field is the word they use, the Austin field and the Dallas field. And then all of North Texas.
Waco.
Well, yeah. And then from Waco north, I suppose, all the way up the entire state of Texas would be the field, the area of responsibility for the Dallas org. And of course, it's a very nice looking place. I was just looking at the website here, and it's a really nice place. I love the way that they highlight all the beautiful photos of their churches on the websites, and it's all empty. It's all like taken at 3 a.m. or something. Like there's nobody there in any of the shots. So all you see is a bunch of beautiful rooms with empty chairs in them. So how long were you there? Tell us about your trip.
So I was there I went 2 days. I had some stuff going on in Dallas, which, trust me, it's like it's like driving in Los Angeles. If you're driving from anywhere else other than even in Dallas, it'll take you some time. So I'm a little apprehensive about going to this place. By the way, for all of you college football fans, right next to the Scientology org there is the corporate headquarters for the Big 12 College Football Conference. Okay? Many of you guys know what Big 12 is. It's right next door. That's actually a big deal. So anyway, I'm a little apprehensive. I was a little apprehensive about going there because I think it was Aaron Smith-Levin or somebody who said that they take a picture of the license plates of all them cars that go through the gold base or pack base or whatever it is, where you go through that, it gets bisected by a road. I'm like, look, man, I wouldn't put it past these bastards to take pictures of cars parking in there. So I parked across the street because I'm a smart guy. Sometimes a smart guy. So let me tell you, I walked, and by the way, if you look at that sign, it has the Texas Star, the Lone Star behind the Scientology stuff in the front deal. That's horrible. That's blasphemy. They needed, that did not rub me the right way. I did not like that. Whatever. So I go in the parking lot, which is underneath that. If you look at the picture there, all the staff members parked their cars underneath that top level. Okay. There was a Tesla. There were like 2 Mercedes Benz. All right. Which is par for Las Colinas area, by the way. Mm-hmm. Listen, all y'all watching this, they had a yellow van with no windows. Ugh. This is the Scientology mission van. It says something can be done. It's the creepiest damn thing. I got to tell you, that's the one they send out to we get like big ice storms here. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is what they send out for blankets and stuff. Man, if anybody saw that thing coming, they'd be like, yeah, these are the people that are going to offer you like Kool-Aid that has something in it. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
He was in the same spot both days.
Yeah.
That probably doesn't. I don't know if you ever saw one of those, Chris, but.
No, probably doesn't get out much. That whole volunteer minister program is really only useful when there are photo ops. at national, international disaster sites. Otherwise, they kind of aren't really doing anything with that program now.
Yeah. So, you know what? I lived in Houston for a number of years, and I lived through two of the most catastrophic hurricanes in modern history. Ike, and I forget the name of the other one, and everything was shut down. I never saw one of those vans. They would have been coming down there. It would have been nice because, trust me, I didn't have water or electricity for 2 weeks. I didn't see Scientology. Anyway, regardless, no lamentations for me. So I go into the front, and in past weeks, I've described how I went up to the second floor and I hit the lady at the desk. I think this is apropos to talk about right here. I go to, and this was just weirdness on top of weirdness. I go into the bottom, and here's a lady sitting there. I says to her, "Hey, what's up? I want to see the stuff. What's going on?" She goes, "What stuff?" Well, come on. I was like, "Yeah, Scientology. What's it all about? It's supposed to be for what do you call it? Public, ain't it?" "Oh yeah," she says. "Oh yeah, that's upstairs." Okay, okay, where are the stairs? So she said, "No, man, you got to wait here." Okay. So she calls upstairs where all the staff are supposed to be. Okay, let me go down the list. Chaplain, where's the chaplain? Not there. Where's the freaking body router? Oh, we don't know where that person is. They went through like 3 people. I stood there for like 5 minutes. I'm like, y'all are not really helping your cause here.
Wow, they made you wait 5. They made you wait 5 minutes just to see somebody.
Not only to see somebody, but just to go upstairs and walk around and see all their stupid videos and their lousy books that they're going to charge you $25 for.
Oh my God!
I'm like, y'all, this is not how this works at all. This is like, if you're looking for a public stuff, yeah. I'm like, it's like they were surprised to see me. Well, listen, everybody, y'all aren't going to see me in real life. I'm not that attractive in real life, so people don't really pay much any mind to me. It's whatever. So I go upstairs. I finally go up there, and on, let's see, the 8th and the 15th of this month, so if y'all want to see those deals, go look at those. I talked about the stupid, what do you call that thing? The big, where they win the award for the bumped up statistics.
The birthday game, yeah.
Yeah, so I have to get guided around like I'm a little boy, which in a lot of ways I am, but not like that. I can bathe myself at the Scientology org. So listen, here comes the lady. Now, I described how they told me psychology, well, psychiatry, yeah, is pretty much like death camp on steroids here in the U.S., and I'm like, yeah, okay. So listen, they had right next to that, and this is where I'll start the rest of my journey. Drugs are bad, y'all. Did you know that? Scientology's got a big thing about how drugs are bad. Listen, if you can do it in a nightclub bathroom or at a Grateful Dead concert, they have little flyers talking about how those chemicals are bad. We're talking cocaine, what else? Meth, weed, LSD, speed. I don't know. What else is fun? They're against it. I'm not saying do it, okay? And they got all these little flyers. They're talking about how it all sucks, and then the pharmaceutical industry is in the business of killing you. Seriously, that's what they were telling me. They're in the business of killing you. Now, here's the thing. They got all these little booklets. This is what's scary. The woman there told me, and this is fine, she said that the local police, meaning the Irving police, will come down there, and this is according to her, request a bunch of these booklets. And when they want to distribute anti-drug stuff to the high school kids, because let's face it, who's going to be doing the most drugs? High school kids, college kids, and disenfranchised adults. Not the fun stuff, not the prescription stuff. So I'm like, for real, the local police are coming in here and getting stuff. That's great, but it's also horrible.
Yeah, because that information, the information they give in those booklets is about 50% false information, by the way, in terms of the statistics they present, the damage the drugs do, the side effects or after effects of the drugs. Like, there's a lot of nonsense in those booklets.
I didn't know that. See, this is why this call is great. Okay, so they had little videos, and they had like ex-junkies on there talking about their horrible junkie experiences. You can get on YouTube. I thought that's actually a halfway decent thing, because somebody doesn't know any better. If they want to do a couple of bumps, they're going to get here's the end game here. You really get crazy with that. So I was like, look, I don't need to hear about your drug drivel and about how the psychiatry wants you to, I don't know, it's like cyanide or something, okay? Oh, here's the thing that I wanted to tell you about the outside. This is funny. So, Chris, you talk about how they don't like to spend money on anything. Yeah. Listen, I know surveillance. I work in surveillance right now, okay?
Yep.
I'm not going to give any more information than that. The cameras they had on the outside of the building are like from the early 90s.
Oh, wow.
That's how bad the technology is. They're probably like really fuzzy, black and white.
Yeah.
Like, you see, I'm like, this sucks. And they had zero camera.
Yeah. Remember that story I told about the PAC security situation? Yeah, it took that for them to invest real money in the LA PAC base security system.
Wow.
And when they did it, they really did it. But it took that. It took a sexual assault in the parking lot and the person wasn't caught at a Scientology place in Los Angeles at the Big Blue Center there. That's where that happened, in order for them to reform their whole security measures and everything. Otherwise, they'll take the cheap route 100% of the time.
Yeah, well, just think 1980 7-Eleven at midnight, and that's the color video that you're going to get.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm not making light of the victim in that particular scenario at the LA org, but to be quite frank with you, we all know the horrible things that Scientology would tell that victim about being a victim of a crime.
Oh, and all that happened. All of that did happen. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so y'all listen to Chris when he says that. If that doesn't give you pause, I don't know what will. All right, so there weren't any cameras on the inside of this place, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
okay.
At all. So, and guess what? I had to sign in twice. So when I walked into the joint on the first floor and then on the second floor.
Huh.
Why am I even signing in? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you think they got my real name? No. So, because, like I said, I'm smart. So sometimes I'm smart. Okay. Now listen, everybody. Check this out. They had a big thing about human rights.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
We all know about that. Mm-hmm. Scientology has that game clocked. Human rights. And they got the whole thing. And they got pictures of MLK. They got pictures of, what's that guy's name? Gandhi? The dude from India?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so... And I was looking at this, and I'm like, hey, anybody who watches this channel, Aaron Smith Levin, or any of these type of things, y'all know Scientology they don't give a rat's rear end about no human rights. They're all about violating human rights. It's like Bill Clinton talking about the Me Too movement. It's like, give me a break.
Yes.
No.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's a perfect analogy, actually.
Oh, yeah.
All things considered. You're absolutely right. It's cover. It's a total PR front. And the really weird thing about it, talking about what I was mentioning earlier about belief, is these guys are so backwards in their morality and their mission that they actually think that putting out a PR press campaign about how great their human rights are is all they need to do to be a human rights organization. They don't actually have to practice any of that for real, and they don't. And they make a dedicated effort of not practicing human rights in that group. So it's particularly egregious as far as I'm concerned. I use words like egregious. It's fucking disgusting. So anyway, please carry on, Travis. Sorry, did you have something to say, babe?
I was just gonna say, it's like with companies. I researched recently and learned a lot of those like best place to work and we treat our employees so well awards. They never actually ask the employees. It's just they submit themselves for the award and a description of their company and how great they're doing, But they never ask the employees if it's a great place to work.
Yeah, interesting.
So it's the same kind of thing. It's like, we're so great. Look at us. We're number one. And it's like,
yeah, maybe not, right? Yeah, exactly. Please carry on, Travis.
Yeah, so that's cool. And FYI, I thought I'd throw this in there. Those pictures online don't give really a whole lot of credit for. So obviously we get a lot of sun here in this state, all the time. There's a lot of sunlights in there. The plastic the sun comes through. Mm-hmm. A lot of lights, bright. We get sun all day, every day in here. All right, so that's cool. Now, about the drugs thing, they got every drug imaginable in there and stuff that they didn't have anything about fentanyl.
No.
Literally nothing about fentanyl.
No, probably haven't produced those booklets. Those booklets, all those drug-free booklets were produced decades ago. And I don't think they've done any updating or new stuff since then.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, you know how many people die every year from fentanyl abuse? It's been going on for a long time. If these guys are actually serious about something, they'd be out there banging pots and pans about fentanyl, but it's Scientology, y'all. They suck at everything. All right. So look. Here's the thing. Drugs are bad. Psychiatry is bad. And then I get to go learn about LRH. Now, everybody, I want you guys to understand something. I'm a Christian. I read the Bible religiously, for lack of a better term. Let me tell you something. The video they had about LRH, and I can say this, Jesus Christ himself is never described as wonderfully as they describe LRH. Like, this guy did more than Muhammad, Jesus, the Buddha, George Washington, anybody. You put them all together, multiply that times like about 10 million, LRH. And I'm watching this and I'm like, yeah, the guy was a scumbag. And the guy was a war hero. The guy, the youngest Eagle Scout in the United States. All this. Oh, he goes to Asia and he learns the principal secret of life from some anonymous whatever, which was published, which was written in Excalibur, which was never published.
That's right.
Oh, I got to take their word for it.
That's right.
Now, for your more discerning audience members, which is everybody, Excalibur is about King Arthur saving England. That's what Excalibur, the sword, is the tool by which King Arthur saves England. So this is, and I caught the title there. So this is the LRH's grandiosity. In other words, his stuff is going to save humanity. That's essentially what they're saying about the information in Excalibur, which was never published. Like, I caught that. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I didn't even need to squint to figure that one out. That guy's such a bum. He's a loser. So anyway, I'm like, yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't sit there anymore. I was like walking around. So a lady was supposed to be chaperoning me around left, which is good because then I started, I'm just going to go look around. Y'all, they got this office and they got a clearing officer in there. Let me tell you something. That's, Chris, tell me if I'm wrong, but that in that office where they keep the clearing officer at an Ideal Org, that's where they sell you like basic stuff, right?
Oh, sure. They'll definitely sell you. Any staff member will sell you stuff. Absolutely. And the clearing officer specifically is the guy who's in charge of all of the public who are selling Scientology. That's where the whole bring new people in and get them onto the bridge thing, that's where that's supposed to happen, is that office, and the person in there is supposed to be driving that. So they're the ones on the phone every week to all the Scientologists. Who you bringing in? What's happening with your sister? What's going on with your kid? How about that? How about your boss, right? Who are you bringing in this week? And they're constantly working on that. That's what goes on there.
So here's my joke. You know, when I ask about people's sisters, I get a dirty look. I guess the same thing from Scientology. That's a bad joke. So right across from the clearing officer's desk, and I don't know if this was on purpose, it appeared to be, they got all these books, Learn How to Learn, okay, or something like this.
Yep.
I'm like, what, you already know that?
What, that book?
I guess no. Well, okay. It looked like it was strategically placed. Like they get a public in there and they're like, "Hey, dude, you don't know about this? Look at that book right there." And they point. And you just turn your head 45 degrees, and it's Learn How to Learn. You see how easy we got this set up for you? That's the way it looked to me. Okay.
Yep. I'd say that's accurate.
I was like, yeah. You know, sometimes I get things right. That's important. So, I'm like, man, these people are garbage. Now, if any of y'all been to a Barnes & Noble, the whole place looked like a Barnes & Noble, basically, because they got every book you've known to man. Let me retrace my steps here. They got all the books that L. Ron Hubbard has ever produced. I say ever, except for Excalibur. I realized I just said that a moment ago. In the front of the place, they have Dianetics, because that's the entryway, so to speak. Dianetics, you read that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then I get placed in front of the Dianetics video.
Oh boy.
I'd much rather have a 6-year-old tell me about their imaginary friend, because that's actually fun and cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And innocent. This is not at all. Let me tell you guys. So, before I tell you guys anything more, I'm going to just add some color here. Every video that they have published in there, it has attractive people, actors and actresses. They're all attractive. The women, I'm a guy. It's attractive women I'm going to notice. That's not real life. Most people are not not as attractive as the people in his videos. Just a fact that it's a very small percentage of the population. So I'm like, yeah, they're doing a sales job here. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I can be in there with whatever your imagination says. I guess the guys too. Some of them are like muscular.
Oh yeah.
I was like, yeah, no, most guys don't look like, especially around here. We're fat. There weren't any fat people either. I was like, yeah, that's not accurate. So, or black people for that matter. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so here's Dianetics. Let me tell you guys something. You know what a Dianetics is? Your brain records everything. No, it doesn't. I can't remember where I put my keys frequently. Mm-hmm. And then you have a reactive mind. You know what a reactive mind is, guys? Basically, you have emotions. There's the breakthrough, y'all. Yeah.
People feel things? No way.
Yeah, you're kind of nailing it. You're kind of nailing it here. I love this. Please carry on.
Yeah, and sometimes you have negative emotions. Yeah, I'm a crotchety old man. You want to know how much negative emotions? Yes. Yeah, just yes. Well, if I'm conscious, I'm going to get irritated about something. It's just a fact. It wasn't the case when I was younger, but I got old now. So, it happens a lot. Okay. So then they're saying, hey, man, you know what? If you have negative emotions, that's an engram. Mm-hmm. Oh, what's an engram? Oh, well, you better go over there and talk to them about it. What do you call it? That woman, the auditor lady. She'll hook you up, man. No, she won't. No, she don't want nothing to do with me. Nobody does, actually. But regardless of that, so I'm like, yeah, okay. So then they got, Chris, you're going to have to help me with this. Mm-hmm. What is it? The self-actualization, the 20 points. So you start out at the survival. What is it? The survival?
Oh, the bridge to total freedom you're talking about. The grade chart. The steps you go up?
Yeah, they had that. Well, no, but they had step 1 is self-survival. Step 2 is family.
Oh,
it's dynamics.
The dynamics. The 8 dynamics. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, they said number 2 was. Well, anyway, first of all, they said so.
I'll just say real fast. The idea is you're surviving across a number of different spheres in your life, including surviving for yourself, for your family, for your work, for your job, or your groups, out, all the way to God. Okay, and all of these are categorized into 8 parts, and that's how Hubbard says life is categorized, so you can think about it easily. That's the dynamics.
So anyway, those engrams from the Dianetics deal, they interfere with your first 4 dynamics.
Yes.
I figured that was obvious from the deal there. They don't demonstrate that, but it's clearly the story is interconnected.
Yep.
Now, here's the thing. I wanted to tell them. Now, listen, this is here me being a troll. They said second dynamic is being a naughty guy. Okay. Anyway, so the lady who was guiding me, this would be on day 2. She says to me, hey, man, you want to get, first of all, she gives me a personality test, and then she also gives me a little note card that says I can fill out what's bothering me. That's lazy. They don't even want to have a conversation about what's bothering me. They just want me to fill it out, and then they can send me to a course. Because I kind of wanted to be a troll, I wanted to tell them that I have this great urge, and I act on it to go down to the local bus station and welcome all the travelers in that not so nice way in the bathroom.
Oh my God.
It's a little racy.
You told him that?
Yeah. Wow. I wanted to. I didn't tell him that, but I was like, yeah,
okay.
I'm a super freak do gay stuff. So, because they don't like that, right? So what are they going to tell me?
No, they don't.
Yeah, I know, right? So what are they going to do? Because they want money, right?
Yeah.
So they want money. So what are they going to do? Tell me to go away because I'm, a super freak? Y'all watching this? I don't like doing that. I was just going to tell the Scientologists that to be a troll. I didn't do it because I think that would have ended the conversation. Yeah. Let me tell you something. They also told me that you can be a Christian and a Muslim and whatever else and be a Scientologist.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't. That's not true. That's false.
That's right.
All right. Let me tell you. Oh, here's the other thing. They got a purification rundown. Mm-hmm. Well, you got to do that first. So I was asking the lady, hey, did you do this purification rundown? She told me that her IQ went up. This is not an exaggeration.
Mm-hmm.
She told me she did purification rundown and her IQ went up. I was like, how you figure? Well, because Scientology gave her a test prior and then after, and it went up by like 10 points.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's right.
That's that makes zero. Oh, because apparently she'd done a lot of drugs or something when she was younger. I didn't get to try to admit to anything.
Yeah, the idea, of course, is that you're straightening out your spiritual trauma and psychological problems, and as a result, you can think clearer and faster and easier. And therefore, the 30-minute timed IQ test that they give you, and they have 3 different versions of it, will that they rotate you through, right? Will become better. And this is proof positive because the number went up that, it wouldn't have anything to do with familiarity with the test and how it's taken. No. It's none of that, because your first score is definitely going to be different than your second score. It has to do with the fact that you sat in a sauna for 5 hours a day and you got smarter just sitting there, which is ridiculous. It's the stupidest claim I've ever heard in my life. But we used to think it. We used to believe it. So that's how they think. That's how they think about it.
You know what they got touchy about this? I wandered over to where they had all the e-meters. I was like, ooh, e-meters. Like I was gonna start poking the buttons and everything, which I was gonna do. And they were like, what are you looking for, man? I was like, e-meters. Yeah. Well, hey, why don't you go look at this? I was like, nah, how about some e-meters? They're like, oh no, you got to, before you can understand the e-meter, you got to understand this. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Okay. You don't want me playing with your little bozo machine. Because they had one on display that's an exemplar. And I already know the trick. If you squeeze the thing, the needle goes up, right? Yep. So it's like squeezing anything. So I was going to start squeezing it real hard and be like, oh my gosh, this guy has so much mental charge. What a freak. Yeah, no, I didn't do it. No, I didn't do it because I wanted I wanted the auditor chick to come over there because this chick has got to be completely in her head. Yeah. By the way, for you can get a copy of the personality test. I think it had stupid stuff in there like, do you want to read the what do you call them, the times for all the rail stuff, like the trains coming through?
Yep.
And it was so stupid because they were like, do you get pissed off when people do stupid stuff? No. You know what? This is basically, if you answer just like L. Ron Hubbard would answer, I promise you'll come out smelling like a rose. They'll still find something wrong with you.
Yeah. There is no right answer on that test. There's no passing it. It doesn't work that way. No matter where it ends up, they're going to have a negative judgment about you. It's totally rigged in their favor no matter how it comes out.
Thank you for telling me that because I sure as hell ain't going to send it in. Oh, and it's so stupid. Pre-postage paid thing to send it in? That's lazy. I hate saying this, but if Scientology are watching, have people come in and do it in person. Don't let them send it in because then they won't come back. It's just as simple as that. That's lazy to have them fill that out by mail. They won't come back. They'll read through that and they'll say, this is stupid, and everybody looks stuff up online. You don't want people to do that, but they're so dumb that they'll have you go home and do it and then send it in.
Yeah.
If I'm going to get asked stupid questions, I'm not going to drive way out there just to have them tell me I'm crazy. I'm crazy on my own. I know this.
Well, unfortunately, the mystery of come in and get your results, we're not going to send them to you, works on a certain percent of people. So that's why they do it.
I didn't give him my. I didn't give.
Yeah, you were smarter than your average bear on this, but People will come in there and they'll give them their address and phone number or whatever. And they even have it where you can, do it online, and then they'll call you and call you in and say, they won't send you your results. They'll just say, come on in and boy, do we have some things to go over with you. Try to make it a big mystery,
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Chris, how much, I've been talking for quite some time. How much of this is consistent with your experience?
Oh, all of it. Yeah. This is totally what orgs are like. How many, and remind us, how many folks were you seeing there? Because it's pretty clear there were not a lot of people in there asking questions and poking around. Was anybody else in the place besides you and the staff?
So that's a great question. The answer is no. Well, yeah. Okay. Actually, there were 2 teenage boys. Considering the area, these teenage boys, and I'd say 16, 17, maybe 18, right around in there. They're clearly the kids of one of the Scientologists. Okay. And they were students. Now, to be fair, I was there during the middle of the day when most normal people are working. I get it. I wasn't working. So but I was off work. And so there was me. There was the chick downstairs. There was the chick upstairs, the receptionist place. There was the body router chick who seemed so frustrated and so angry and so stressed out. I really feel for it, because it's got to be hell on wheels to be in that joint.
Yeah.
And then there was somebody helping her at the staff desk. And then there was an old man sitting at this desk with a sign over it that said Academy. Okay. There was this old dude in there. When I say old, I'm talking like this guy must have been close to 80.
Wow.
It looked like it.
Wow, that was their supervisor, I guess. That's the course supervisor, probably, the guy. But there were no students in there, yeah?
No, there wasn't. And no, absolutely not. No, zero. Later on, those same 2 kids, I call them kids, they were young men. I think they might have hung out in there just to talk to them. But there was me. I was walking around, and they still couldn't keep their eye on me, because that was clearly what they wanted to do. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm floating around and looking at everything. And I told them, they were getting stressed out of me looking at those OT meter things, E-meters. I'm like, well, y'all don't want me to touch these? They were like, no, everywhere here is an open door policy. I'm like, yeah, no, it's not. Think about this for a minute. That's what they were telling me.
Right.
Okay. Then they had a study area. It said, quiet, please.
Yep.
Okay. That was on the other side of the building. And one of the young guys was in there. Young guys was in there doing a test. And I thought to myself, I've pretty much seen everything. And they had books everywhere. And then I got a Way to Happiness book.
They give that to you for free?
Book leaving. Yeah, it's the most scandalous bootlicking garbage I've ever seen in my life. I can go to anywhere and get that. I can go to the Jehovah's Witness joint. Get that. It was stupid. It's bootleg. I'm like, why are y'all giving me this? We want you to be happy. And y'all ain't going to make me happy. No way. Because this is crazy stuff. And by the way, the elevator wasn't working.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. Ugh. You can always tell the quality of a business by the elevators.
No, so that's the kind of stuff that gets me twisted, because I got bad knees.
Yeah.
So I don't do well with stairs. And so if I can't take the elevators, okay. Yeah. You guys are some bastards. So
yeah, and
anyway.
I just know from work experience after I left the Sea Org that elevator repair is a very, very expensive situation.
Oh, sure.
Is it really?
It really is. Yeah, you call an elevator guy out, and it's going to be some money. Yeah, absolutely. That is very skilled labor you are bringing in to fix your elevator. Plus, it has to be a guy probably from the elevator company, because there's different ones and there's different specialties and stuff, and there are not a lot of them. It's actually one of the most dangerous professions in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Average of 1 elevator repairman dies every year, kind of thing. Anyway, I'm going on and on, but that's why they haven't fixed it, because they probably don't have the money for it. Because they're clearly not doing, bang up business there. They don't have people tearing down the doors, and the world is not beating a path to their door at all. It's the exact opposite as what your visit tells me.
No, And even me, I wanted to leave. And so this was field research for you. This is all for the view and the viewers here. This isn't so I can hear myself talk, everybody. This is for all of y'all watching this, so you don't have to do it. Okay.
We visited Scientology, so you don't have to. No, Travis, I got to tell you, man, I really appreciate you taking 2 days of your time to go do this and coming back with a report on this. And the details you've given are completely consistent with what we talk about. And we need boots on the ground to go verify this stuff, check this stuff, see how things are these days. And it's exactly what we're talking about here. You know, it's on its way out all on its own. We're just hastening the demise. That's the reality of Scientology, I think.
It is, and so that's it for my description of the org, you guys. In case you wondered, that's it encapsulated. I don't have any other comments about the org itself. What I will say though is there's a sense of irony that I had when I walked out of the place, and I walked past that creep van. It's canary yellow with no windows. It says something can be done. You want to know what? Actually, they're right. Something can be done. Leah Remini is doing something. Chris Shelton is doing something. Aaron Smith-Levin is doing something about it. Who else, Chris?
Mike Rinder. Claire, the Degraded Daughters. I mean, Alex. There's so many people out there now. Karen, of course, Tony. You know, we're the folks out here doing something about it. Thank you for saying that. That's very true. Thank you.
And I did that on purpose because not only did I think that in my head, but this is the time now where there's the shameless self-promotion on your end.
Yes.
But also, let's acknowledge everybody else who is not me, who else is contributing to the rapid decline of that building. And maybe the Big 12 college football place can take over the Scientology building eventually. I'm sorry, I'm a college football fan, everybody. I'm from Texas. I watch like TCU, I watch Baylor, all this. Y'all, okay, you can. But that's it for there, and I think that's all I have for this. And I do appreciate you giving me the time. Do you have any follow-up questions?
No, we're going to have to wrap up. We've reached our time, so I'm going to, so thank you.
Good. Thank you, and and that's it. That's all I've got. Thank you for the time.
Bye-bye, Travis. Awesome. All right, guys. Yeah, we got a few minutes over here. I see we lost a bunch of viewers. Probably somebody else's live stream starting. Whatevs. No, the call-in line is not still open, Alex. Sorry about that. We are going to be going ahead and wrapping up now. I wanted to just kind of leave off with another thank you for Travis for taking the time and for being willing to call in and talk about all of this. This was 100% his thing. He went and did this and then let me know about it. And I was like, absolutely, let's do this thing, right? So good job on that. So again, thank you. And yeah, absolutely. We all need to definitely acknowledge the community here. Good, bad, right, wrong, ups, downs, personality conflicts, whatever the fuck. Who cares? We're fighting Scientology, and we're fighting Scientology effectively, and we are making inroads, and we are helping people. And that's, at the end of the day, really all that matters. And if it's contributing to making that happen, good. And if it's distracting from that, if it's causing us to go off of what we're trying to get done here, not a good thing, right? And so I'm 100% in support of everybody moving this ball down the road and fighting against this incredibly ruthless, totalitarian organization. So thank you very much for coming around and watching, everybody who's still here with us. I really appreciate your viewership and support. Let's go ahead and wrap up with our usual end of show activities. Mel will read our logical fallacy of the week. I want to first say that podcast this week has to do with Catholicism and some culty stuff in that area. So you will see that drop tomorrow. I'm interviewing a guy named Anthony Spurgeon, and I hope you guys enjoy that talk. We went on for about an hour on that. And then I'm planning on a pre-recorded critical Q&A for Sunday. All right, so what you got for us? All
right, appeal to emotion. Manipulating an emotional response in place of a valid or compelling argument. Luke didn't want to eat his sheep brains with chopped liver, neither do I, and Brussels sprouts, but his father told him to think about the poor, starving children in a third world country who weren't fortunate enough to have any food at all.
Well, appeal to emotion. We wouldn't know anything about that around here, would we?
No.
All right, guys. Thanks again. I will see you guys sooner than later. All right. Good night.
Good night.